So this week, TVNZ published information about how its newsroom operates as it focuses, as it says, on, quote, transparency and inspiring trust in news, end quote. They've just realised that it matters, trust and transparency. And they also say that information explaining why comments are sometimes deleted or turned off on social media platforms has also been published. So let's check their policy, and then let's check how they're actually doing on social media. So One News says that the most common reason comments are turned off on social media is that there is a risk they could break the law. You know, defamatory comments, breaches of name suppression, or cases currently before the court. Now that all makes sense, but that doesn't tell you everything. Let's dig deeper into the policy, and it says, One News welcomes feedback on our stories, and thousands of users around the world share their diverse views in the comments of our social media posts every day. Not all these views are harmonious, nor should they be, but some are considered harmful, legally fraught, or even dangerous. That's why One News moderates comments on its social media accounts, sometimes deleting comments, and sometimes turning comments off. When deciding what action to take, we consider the safety of our audience, the individuals and groups mentioned in our articles, the law, and the well-being of our community management team, their staff. And then some specifics. Our most common reason for turning off comments is that they could break the law. We can't allow potentially defamatory comments on our posts, as legal action could be taken against both TVNZ, who own One News, and the person who's posted the comments. We need to ensure comments aren't in contempt of court. For example, we can't risk commenters breaching name suppression orders. And then they list some social house rules. Don't break the law. No promotions or spam. Your posts, your responsibility. Everything you contribute is your responsibility and is in no way endorsed by TVNZ. Interestingly, a lot of people don't understand that and think that if there is a comment on your Facebook page, that you as the host must completely agree with it, which of course is ridiculous. But then they also have this: be kind and courteous, and no hate speech or bullying. Make sure that everyone feels safe. Bullying of any kind isn't allowed, and degrading comments about things such as race, religion, culture, sexual orientation, gender or identity will not be tolerated. Well, you can see a whole lot of red flags amongst all that, which I'll show you shortly. But finally, they admit that on Facebook, we can turn off all comments or delete individual comments that don't comply with our rules. On X, which is Twitter, however, we only have the option to turn off comments, as the platform will not allow us to delete individual replies. And because of this, we are more likely to turn off comments on an X post than turn off comments on Facebook. Now, that's how we at Family First deal with it as well. We don't close comments, but we would certainly delete offensive comments on our Facebook page and sometimes block the user because they've repeatedly been offensive or they're simply trolling our page looking for a verbal fight. And our page is primarily for our supporters to discuss the issues we're raising. And it's almost a full-time job moderating social media, and we just don't have the resource for that. So sometimes, yes, we do miss some nasty stuff that's been posted, but fortunately our supporters usually alert us to any offending items. But TVNZ is a state-owned, commercially funded enterprise and a media company that should have the resource to have full-time staff on this. Okay, so you've heard the policy. How are they doing? Well, let's check it out. Exhibit number 1. In an exclusive interview, Jacinda Ardern openly throws her support behind Kamala Harris at the Democrats' convention in Chicago. You'll see down the bottom there, no comments allowed. Be kind and courteous, but we're not even going to risk it with Jacinda, apparently. No hate speech or bullying. Actually, it's no speech at all. And another one, Exhibit 2, Ardern's trajectory could give Kamala Harris supporters reason for both hope and trepidation. Once again, no comment allowed. Perhaps it's like Kamala's media interviews. No comment. No interviews. So there seems to be a bit of protection going on there. Here's Exhibit 3. This is Jussie Smollett, Shanil Lal fearing for his life because of the impending violence from his own side at the upcoming Posey Parker rally. Now, they allowed comments. You'll see there's some comments there, but obviously it wasn't going the way they wanted, so they stopped it and they cancelled the comments. But note what Lal is saying at the clip I grabbed. He's labelling feminist groups, families, Kiwis who believe that only a woman can be a woman as Nazis and TERFs. But hey, One News moderating team are all good with that. That isn't deleted. And exhibit number 4, controversial anti-transgender rights speaker Posey Parker. Well, that's a loaded term, isn't it? But it's all good for comments on this one, because look, let's stick it to Posey, eh? Exhibit number 5. In her first in-depth interview, the former Green MP claims there was no joy in stealing expensive clothes, just shame. Unlike Posey Parker, comments are turned off. Eventually, it looks like there were some comments, but then they decided they would turn them off. But One News admitted that they monitor every comment, and so they could just delete and even ban offensive people and comments. But maybe it's special treatment for Golriz and not for Posey. Exhibit 6, while we're on Golriz, she was fined for shoplifting, denied a discharge without conviction. But you'll note here that no comments are allowed. In fact, the One News team said in the one comment that was there, it said, "Kia ora, in certain cases involving New Zealand police or New Zealand courts, One News disables comments to ensure compliance with court orders, uphold name suppression and maintain due process of law. This action is taken to protect the rights and privacies of individuals involved and respect legal constraints surrounding the matter. We understand the value of open dialogue, blah, 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 blah." The thing is, I can't see any connection between that statement and Golriz, where a decision had been made, there was no name suppression, there was no privacy issues, and the process of law is complete. But no comments. Exhibit number 7. Now, do you remember the bullying of Children's Minister and ACT MP Karen Shaw, who said she was under constant personal attack in the halls of power and no longer felt safe at work? She had her Māori heritage questioned by nasty, objectionable Labour and Te Pāti Māori MPs. Do you remember that interview where she was very emotional in front of the camera as she detailed the intense bullying she was receiving from other MPs? Well, apparently that's all good for trolls on Facebook to comment on. Comments are open and the comments are coming in, including this one, ironically from an astrologist who says, "So glad ACT politicians are feeling under attack and scared. Keep the pressure up." Yeah, so maybe the safe comments and the safety only apply to certain people. But check out these 2 posts. Auckland police are investigating claims a man was assaulted outside a Destiny Church property in an Auckland suburb. Comments have been allowed on that, even though theoretically it's a case that will be coming before court. But then you go to this one. Rotorua Library was set to host Rainbow Storytime on March 21st, but called it off the day before due to safety concerns. Comments are turned off. Why? Well, you'll see there it says, "Kia ora, we value respectful and inclusive dialogue on our platform. Comments that are discriminatory or harmful towards the rainbow community will not be tolerated." And so they say they've turned off comments on this story. They turned off the comments on that one, but they didn't turn the comments off on this one. And check out the comments on the Destiny assault one and see if there's any discriminatory or harmful comments against Destiny Church. Okay, you already know the answer to that. And here's another classic one. So this is about Q&A, catching up with the former Green MP Darlene Tāna in what could be their final week in Parliament, her final week. But here's the funny bit. One News have limited comments, you'll see there, to just one comment. Oh, it's their comment, which says, Comments that are discriminatory or harmful will not be tolerated. And so we've turned off comments on this story. The only problem is there have been no discriminatory or harmful comments because they haven't allowed any comments. No comments on this one either, not even an explanation. Although maybe you can figure out why this story on monkeypox and microbiologist Dr. Susie Wiles didn't make the cut for comments. I mean, was it the topic? Was it what she dared to say there? Or maybe it was just her, I don't know. You're probably not surprised by this one, allowing no comments. The Algerian boxer who landed in the middle of a divide about gender in sports after the Italian competitor Angela Carini pulled out seconds into their boxing bout. Remember, a woman being bashed by a man. Yeah, we don't want commenting on that. But a couple of months before that, this guy, Israel Folau, he is just as controversial, apparently, according to the media. This is from March, but remember that One News says that, and I quote, comments that are discriminatory or harmful will not be tolerated. Hang on, except for this one. What the F? He's a religious nutjob. Or this one. He talks bigotry and promotes hate through stupid religious dogma. Anyone who thinks that way in the 21st century needs to be called to account. Religion is hate speech. They also let this one through, homophobic bigot of epic proportions. And a whole smorgasbord here. Guy's a muppet, ignorant Bible-bashing, homophobic bigot. Ruined not only his career, but destroyed his wife's muppet and bigot. But remember, comments that are discriminatory or harmful will not be tolerated, apparently. You see, the problem is that the moderation done by One News doesn't follow the policy objectively. If they're going to have a policy, they need to apply it fairly and evenly, even to people they don't personally like, or to pet projects where they believe only their comments should count and yours shouldn't. If this is evidence of One News inspiring trust and being transparent, they may just need to go back to the drawing board.